Yo, what's up, Diamond family? It's your man VV, and welcome back to VVS Sound. As you guys know, I'm here every week dropping off gems, teaching you to mix and record your music better. So, if that sounds good to you, stay tuned. Look, man, you guys see the title. It's about to be real simple. I got a crazy video. I'm just going to show you guys my top 5 plugins for 2022. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. The first plugin I'm going to talk about is MetaTune. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about every plugin I like to use, and then I'm going to go into like my favorite way to use it this year. All right. So the first one is MetaTune. And real quick, man, if you guys don't know, we got our free template down below. If you don't have a template for Pro Tools, this is the one to get. It's going to help you to record your songs better. It's going to help you sound good and get inspired and get that consistent sound that you need over and over. So it's completely free. It's linked down below. Just go ahead and pick up that template, man. All right, let's talk about MetaTune. So as you can see, a lot of this song I used Oeksound on, but down here on the plugins, on the ad-libs, I jumped into MetaTune. And here's the reason why. If you open up MetaTune, it has this extra feature where you can add a doubler and add width to whatever signal you're messing with. So I'm going to show you guys how that sounds, and I'm going to show you how it would sound if we use Oeksound instead. So it's a subtle effect, but I want you to hear it. So this is just the hook of a song by my guy Jerry Legend. Let's hear it.
On this side, cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now it's just an old flame. Was what it was.
All right, best. So you hear there's only these 3-4 background ad-lib vocal tracks, but it sounds full, it sounds lush. Part of that is the doubler we're using in Waves, but I love the fact that MetaTune gives you the ability to do this right from within the plugin. And if you've got several instances of MetaTune, you can affect them all at once through one plugin. So that's really cool. I'm going to switch this to Oeksound so you can hear kind of what MetaTune is doing to these background vocals right here, and play it back. Let's see.
I ain't playing no games. It is what it is.
Right, so I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but it's just not nearly as lush. I'm gonna use the word lush. It's not nearly as lush. Let's hear it again.
I ain't playing no games. It is what it is.
Yeah, it just helps the background, the vocals back there to kind of smear out a little bit and spread and give it some depth. So I'm really a big fan of MetaTune, specifically on backgrounds when you need to add some space, ad-libs when you really want to add some depth and such to what you're working on. So that's plugin number 1. My number 2 plugin for 2022 is going to be actually inside the VMR, and it's the custom Opto. So Slate dropped this custom Opto a few months back. It was actually in 2021 when they dropped this plugin, and it's just the emulation of the TubeTech CL1B, and man, I love the way this plugin sounds. So I was watching someone else use this plugin, and they crank the speed all the way, they crank the ratio all the way, and I found that I really like the way it sounds there. And I'm not doing a crazy amount of peak reduction. I think we're doing 5 to 7 dB, but I'm really focused on the tone here. I love that you can dial in the tone amount that you want, and there's different tones within the plugin that kind of change the sound of what you're working on. So I'm going to play you the vocal again. This is on our lead vocal, so I'm actually going to mute the ad-libs and the backgrounds and everything, and I'm gonna just let you hear the lead, and then I'll take it off so you can hear it without as well.
Next time, there's no love on this side. Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now it's just an old flame.
Okay, so you can see it's getting up there 5. It might be going past 5 dB of gain reduction, but let's hear it without the compression and see what it does for us.
Next time, there's no love on this side. Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now it's just an old flame.
So the thing about compression, especially in urban music, is most things are punched in, right? They go bar for bar. And if you don't know how to dial your compression in right, it can really sound punched in. So really listen and look, you can see how he's going bar for bar. I'm going to play it without the compression, and then I'm going to add the compression and hear how the whole verse starts to sound more cohesive. It doesn't sound nearly as punched in as it does without compression. So let's play it without again, and then I'll turn it back on.
Next time, there's no love on this side. Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now it's just an old flame.
Right, so now let's bring that back.
Next time, there's no love on this side. Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now it's just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep. Baby, there's no next time. There's no love on this side.
Bet. So here, I'm going to bring the backgrounds and stuff back in because you can really hear how it kind of gives the lead vocal that space and power that it needs over the backgrounds. But it still keeps everything together. So let's listen to that one more time. And like I said, we'll have the backgrounds in this time.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you're just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep. Baby, there's no next time. There's no love on this side.
Bet. So custom Opto, I'm really a huge fan of. Number 3 for me this year is going to be Spaced Out by Baby Audio. I love this plugin. One, for just adding space and dimension. It's a 2-in-1, so it does reverb as well as delays, as well as echoes. So you're getting 2 plugins in one, which cuts down on CPU processing. And you guys know I just like plugins that do more than one thing. So right now I'm running my lead vocals to this bus that has Spaced Out on it, as well as my hook. Really, my hook vocals are just backgrounds, and my ad libs, which are also just backgrounds. I'm sending all of these to this Spaced Out bus, and I'm sending a lot of the backgrounds. We're all the way up at -14, so we're sending a lot of those. Not as much of the lead, but it's really it's really starting to give the vocal and basically the song more space, more dimension. So I'll do what we always do. I'll play it with it, then I'll play it without it and let you hear the difference.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you're just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep.
And just so you know, this is just the preset that it comes with. This is the starting point of Spaced Out. I didn't tweak anything. I just turned the wet amount all the way to 100 just because I'm running it on a bus. But this is the standard preset that comes within Spaced Out. So let's turn it off.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you're just an old flame.
So, I mean, like I said, the song still sounds good without it, but the space and the depth and the dimension that you get from the plugin really changes things. So let's hear it again with the plugin.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you're just an old flame.
Cool. So I'm going to give you guys one more tip with Spaced Out. I'm actually going to load a second instance because I don't want to lose what I did. But if you click on this little dice right here that says generate, Spaced Out is a great tool for inspiration, because if you don't really know how you want your vocal or background or ad lib or whatever to sound, if you keep clicking this generate button, it'll just keep coming up with random presets that'll just like mess with the EQ, mess with the echoes, mess with the reverbs. I'm sorry, not the EQ, mess with the echoes, mess with the reverbs, and all the different settings, the pre-delay, the stardust, the mellow, all these different things. It's gonna like create random presets that you can just play your sounds through, and it'll inspire what you're working on. So what I'm going to do is just flip through some of these presets while I'm playing back the rest of the track and see if we hear anything cool.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you're just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep. Baby, there's no next time. There's no love on this side. Cause I ain't playing no games.
So as you can see, Spaced Out will do a lot of different things if you let it, right? So that's number 3. Now, number 4 for me this year is going to be Soothe. Oeksound Soothe is a really, really dope plugin, and I'm going to show you a really cool way to use it. Now, I actually learned this tip from Reed Stefan, the realest puppet in the game. I learned it from him, and I just kind of adapted it to my needs. So basically, we're going to use Soothe, which is a dynamics processor, but it's like an EQ. It just soothes your sound, man. I'm trying to think of a simple way to explain it, but it basically takes and tames harsh frequencies, no matter where they're in the spectrum, and it soothes them. But what we're going to use it for is to create a little bit more space in our beat for our vocal. So using Soothe, what you can do is called side chaining, which is when another signal is going to come into the plugin and tell it when to affect the signal that you have the plugin attached to. So the other signal that's going to come in is going to be our vocals. So I have all of my vocals coming to a bus, and I'm just sending the left channel, the mono signal of my all vocals bus to this Soothe plugin. Now what that's going to do is this Soothe plugin is on my beat track. And since I'm sending my vocal here, every time my vocal hits, it's going to duck the beat, which means turn it down. It's going to turn the beat down a little bit in the frequencies I specify based on, you know, where there's build up in my vocal or where there's build up in the beat. So I'm explaining it. Let me show it to you, and then you'll kind of get a better idea of what it's doing.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep, baby.
So you can see wherever I move this, you know, band, it's gonna focus in on that area, and you can hear where the beat may be interfering with your vocal all the way across the spectrum, and you can turn down those specific areas wherever you'd like to. So let's find some other spots that we think, man, maybe we could have the beat to, you know, duck a little bit there, or we can cut the beat a little bit there, only on specific parts. That's the thing, it's dynamic. So when the vocal isn't coming through, or it doesn't need to turn down that section of the song, it won't. And so it keeps your track sounding a lot more natural. So let's play with it a little.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep, baby. There's no next time. There's no love on this side.
And it's really just that sample. The producer, when they mixed the beat, that sample, I guess they loved it because it's super loud. But since we don't have the stems, we got to find other ways to turn it down. So I'm going to play you the Soothe plugin, you know, so you can hear what it's doing, and then I'm going to bypass it so you can hear how our vocal sounds without it.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you just an old flame. Was what it was.
Right, so now let's take Soothe off, and you'll hear how that sample really pokes out a lot more.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you just an old flame.
So you can hear the vocal just gets a little more buried behind the beat, but let's hit Soothe again.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is.
And the cool thing about Soothe is it doesn't completely erase the sound. You can still hear the sound that you wanted to hear. It's just controlled a little bit better, and it's letting your vocal take precedent. It's letting your vocal take the first space. All right, so I got one more plugin for you. Number 5, we're actually doing a giveaway right now, is Firechild. So I really like Firechild. In any instance where I want to push the mid-range forward a little bit, these different buttons, they really, like I said, I like to call them tone controls because they change the tone and shape the tone of everything you're working on. So if I had a vocal that was a little muddy, I wanted to get a little more mid-range out of, I would use Firechild on this B setting and let it push the mid-range forward. I'm actually doing that on the entire track right now, and I'm going to let you guys see how it's working. So let's hit play.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep, baby. There's no next time.
Right, so that sounds cool. Let me bypass it and listen to how everything just sinks back. It's almost like there's a hole in the middle of the song now.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you just an old flame. Was what it was.
So basically you can hear it's sucking a lot of the excitement out of the song. So let's bring that back in.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep.
See, I love to boost that mid-range because you get your vocal to still stay out front. Your clap or your snare or your rim shot or whatever also gets that front precedent, and nothing gets buried. So I really love the mid-range push that Firechild brings. If you want to enter to win this copy of Firechild, all you have to do is leave a diamond below. I'll tag the video. It was the last video we posted, and all you got to do is go to that video, leave a comment of a diamond, and you're entered to win. It's that simple. So that's all I got for you guys. My top 5 plugins for 2022. Number 1 was MetaTune. Number 2, also by Slate, is the custom Opto. Number 3 is Baby Audio Spaced Out. Number 4 is Oeksound Soothe. And number 5 is Firechild from Tone Empire. That's all I got for you guys today, man. If you need anything, definitely shoot me a line below. Don't forget to pick up our free template. It's down below. It's going to completely change the way that you record and make music. Yo, I'm VV. That's all I got for you guys. Remember to stay humble, make diamonds only. Peace.
Cause I ain't playing no games. It is what it is. Now you're just an old flame. Was what it was. I ain't losing no sleep. Baby, there's no next